So met like a super awesome guy this week. His name is Darren. But yeah, Darren is super cool. I sold him. It was my first sale of the day. I knocked on his door. He was a really cool guy, but he had like tattoos and like, but he was like really mellow. He like didn't give off the vibe that I thought he was gonna give off. So I actually ended up going on Facebook and I Facebook stalked him.
So listen to his story. Check it out.
How you doing? My name's Darren Ochoa. I met Koa today, an awesome man, came to my house and we just met, and like you said, he went on my Facebook and found out that I am a minister of the gospel. He said I'm not a stalker, but he was just checking things out. So, and my testimony came up and I asked him if he would like to hear it, and he did. And I just want to share my testimony for anybody out there that might be going through anything, any struggles, anything in your life, to let you know that God is real and that God has a wonderful plan for your life. Over 10 years ago in 2008, I was addicted to drugs, I was addicted to alcohol, I was out of work, and I was looking to go to prison for my third DUI. And my life was a total mess. My wife was fed up with the way I was acting, the way I was living, thug mentality, gang bang from when I was 15 until pretty much 30 years old. So my mindset was not a good mindset. And I began to look at my life and seeing what I made of my life and me possibly going to prison. I went to jail for my second DUI, and the judge said if I come back for a third, I was going to prison. And I got my third one shortly after, so I was pretty much going to prison. And I started thinking about where would my wife go, where would my children go. And I found myself on my kitchen floor one morning when my wife was off to work, and I just broke down and I started crying. And I asked God, I said, God, I said, if you are real, I said, I need your help and I need you to reveal yourself to me. And my brother, who I did not really know, I kind of knew he was a Christian. I was actually raised a Jehovah's Witness, so was my brother, and he had recently gotten converted into a Christian. And he wanted to come over and talk to me because he knew about the mess I got myself in. And he came over and he brought me a Bible, brought me a little NIV Bible. And the first thing that he told me, he said, brother, he says, God has a wonderful plan for your life and you're not going anywhere. And this is the first time that I ever heard my brother talk like this before. So I got the Bible, and my brother began to start sharing with me about the faithfulness of God, the goodness of God, and how God is not a man that he should lie, and that his word does not return to him void, but it accomplishes what he pleases and prospers for what he sent it to do. And I believe that's Isaiah 55:11. And he's just sharing me about the goodness of God, and I really needed to hear that at my time and the point where I was at, kind of like maybe many of you may be hearing this video today, or at a point in your life that you need to hear something. And I just want to let you know there is hope, because when my brother came and brought me that Bible, I did not know that my life was about to change forever. I began to read that Bible, and I thought to myself, when my brother brought this to me, I said, you know what, I've tried everything else. I've tried everything you can imagine, and nothing had ever worked. I still couldn't quit drinking after my third DUI. I would park in the driveway and hide drinking because I told my wife that I had stopped, and I couldn't stop. It was a stronghold and a bondage in my life. So when I began to read this Bible, about a week went by, and I could tell you that I had this dream. And in this dream, I walked into a house and I sensed evil all around me. And I walked into this back room, and there was a man back there, and he said, you've always been trying to get away from me. He says, but you're not going anywhere. And he held me down with great force as if I was paralyzed. And then all of a sudden that dream switched and that man was gone. And I was standing in the middle of a church before a table, and there was a man on my left-hand side and an image of a man in front of me who I now know was Jesus. And the man on my left-hand side says, I'm going to interpret what the man in front of you is about to tell you. And he grabbed my hand and he held it up before the man in front of me. But the man in front of me didn't say a word. He held pictures of me when I was a little boy, and he grabbed these pictures and he threw them at me, and they whipped past my head and whipped past again. And I felt something pulled out of my chest as I watched these pictures disappear into the church, and I woke up instantly. And ever since that day, I've been delivered of drugs, alcohol, pornography, and everything else that I was ever addicted to. And the Lord had totally set me free. See, I told you I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so I was raised that there is no heaven and there is no hell. So I never feared death before. I didn't care whether I lived or I died, but as soon as I had this revelation and this encounter with Jesus, I instantly knew that Jesus was the Son of God, and that there's a heaven and a hell, and that we're all accountable. So this love that came into my life continually changed me and transformed my life. God had restored me. You can see my house behind me. I went from renting, having no job, and not even being able to pay rent, you know, to God totally blessing and restoring my family. And it was over a multiple time of years, but it was through trusting and believing and sharing the good news with other people and putting this hope, giving this hope to other people, which the hope is that he placed inside of me. So
Darren is direct proof of a few things, I think. One, that, you know, you hear the saying all the time that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
yeah.
Direct proof right here. A man that has completely turned his life around and now is sharing his life and his service with others. And two, he's direct proof of all the positivity that we have around us. It just comes down to, are we going to open our eyes, and are we going to seek the positivity?